Okay.
Okay. Yep. We've started. So, hi Sandesh. Welcome so much to you, Kyoto. Thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you so much, Ricky. Am I right? Thank you.
So, first of all, before we start the interview, I want to congratulate you for winning the Literary Awards of 2022. Congratulations so much. We're really
Yeah,
happy for
thank
you.
you so much. Yeah, that means a lot. Thank you.
So, what can you tell us about this book, this Life on the Edge?
Yeah, sure. See, this is a book. This is about a family, Tamankar family. They live in a chawl in suburban Mumbai. They are living lower or middle class life as such. And there are millions and millions of such families living in Mumbai. And I'm sure people in the city and in the other metro cities and around India will be able to relate to it. The family consists of lead characters: Ganesh, the husband, Ramya, the wife, and their three daughters: Mrunali, Shruti, and Jaya. This book is all about the challenges that they face and the difficulties, the circumstances around it, and how they overcome them, creating their own path and destiny. So that's the overall story as such. And I must add the entire narration of the story, the actions and reactions of the characters. I've tried to keep it very close to reality, avoiding any heroism as such, as I call. The characters emerge as heroes in each chapter as such by itself, by their simple actions, as people in normal life would act. So that's what it is, and I hope when people read the book, they appreciate this particular writing style. So that's what it is.
Okay. And the title, Life on the Edge, what can you tell us about that?
Life on the edge. Yeah, it's actually what I would say. That's the story of every middle income, middle class family, be it living in Mumbai or the other parts of the country as such. It is the desire to live life with a lot of pride, dignity, even if with all the challenges and difficulties that I have covered in the book. They may not get the food for the day. They may not know what lies ahead the next day. There is a saying specifically for Mumbai that they need to earn their living today to live the other day, live the next day.
True.
But the thought of leaving the very next day is what drives them. And in this book, the Tamankar family lives a lower middle class life, financially not well to live a comfortable life as such, as we will see from remote. Uh, they go through several difficulties, horrendous situations, difficult circumstances. They touch the, as I call, edges of life very, very frequently. So on the other side, it's an easy option of not living. But the thought of not living never comes to their mind. It is all about finding ways, options to live through this day, cover through the night, and then the hope for the next day. So that's what all about, and that's how the title as such. And I should generalize, if I may. This is the hallmark of every middle income family, and that makes them special. So that's the title all about.
True, that's a very fitting title now that you've explained it. So now coming to the chawls of Mumbai, I'm going to quote what the blurb says. The blurb says the book goes beyond this typical constructed notion of chawls of filth, loudness, and full of people. So the question is like, what did you as a writer want to showcase then? And do you think you managed to do that through your writing?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Good question. Thanks for asking. See, I personally always had an issue with how chawls were presented or conceived in stories, be it books, be it movies as such. More reflecting it as overcrowded, lot of people, loudness, filthiness, and whatnot. But there is a different side to it when it comes to chawls or similar communities or something called slums. They shelter many families. They provide bread and butter not only to those families living there, but also to their extended families across the different parts of the country as such. And as I mentioned, it's about the edges of life that they live, sustain themselves. They are the ones who push the boundaries, and in the process, they are the reason to cause social and economic reforms in the society and in the country as such. And I say they are the ones who drive the nation building process. So yeah, I mean, with that overall context, if you read the book, you could see the life in the Charles, in the middle class families, starting from 80s, going all the way to 20th century as such. And in that process, if you see, it's so mind-boggling how we have changed as a society and how it has driven in those societies as such, in those communities. Daughters stepping out, venturing out, doing studies, higher studies, going to work, deciding and then living an independent life. That kind of social change that we have seen happening in the middle class families in the Charles as such. These are the people who plunge into politics, give their sweat, blood, their precious time, the families and whatnot. They set the agenda and course, what do you call, for the betterment of nation as such. And there are specific episodes that I've covered in book, like the desire and act of having a TV or refrigerator in the houses. Now later on, going to the telephones and whatnot. That uplifting, the desire to uplift them to the next level, and then ultimately driving the economic prosperity of themselves and the country as such. So all of that in nutshell is what I've covered in the book, and I take satisfaction that I could touch upon these facets of the middle class society living in Charles as such. Yeah.
That's great. So I don't want to give too much away, but the book also deals with the Mumbai tragedy. So that it was, I can imagine it was a difficult and sensitive thing to write. So how did you go about writing a sensitive topic like that?
Yeah, indeed, you're right. And if anyone has to write about the city of Mumbai and a family and covering that kind of journey, how can we not touch yeah, the Mumbai tragedies as such?
It's forever
Right?
etched in the history of that city.
That's correct. That's correct. So indeed, and I am a Mumbaiker. I lived rather born and brought up in Mumbai. So yeah, the city did suffer a lot of tragedies during those years, be it the riots of 91, 92, or the heavy rain floods, or the train blast, and then many more events later during the life during these times. Uh, I have tried to keep it very simple. All of these events are intertwined with the characters in the book, the Tamankar family as such. So the book beautifully covers how it impacts their lives and how they dealt with those situations as such. And for me, as I was saying, I have lived in Mumbai. Um, having seen it myself and faced those situations, I could relate it to the characters, how they would have gone through it. And again, I have interpreted it like a common man, so kept it simple, very close to reality, the actions and reactions, as I've said earlier too. So that's how I have dealt with this topic as such. But I'm sure again the people of Mumbai, when they read that book and those events, then they'll be able to kind of relate to it, what occurred during those times.
Okay,
Yeah.
now just staying on the topic of writing and these characters that you just mentioned, of course, Ganesh, Ramya, the girls. So, what was your character building process like?
Wow. Okay. That's never an easy question, right? Whatever answer I give may
Yeah, I
look
feel like everyone has a very different answer to that. Everyone has their own way of going about it.
absolutely. You're right. You're right. And it's an evolution. I must say. When I was writing this, or rather when I started writing, there were these five strong characters in the book, and obviously there are a lot of side characters. For me personally, it was important to understand the personality of these characters, their strength and weaknesses, and based on that, each one had a unique way of dealing with things, dealing with situations, responding to them. And then I had to maintain uniformity across chapters, and not only that, see, a character goes through an upward and downward trajectory. The graph changes over time. They evolve as a person, and in their thought process. I mean, when I cover a journey of 30, 40 years, uh, I had to bring it in correctly, those nuances. Just to give an example, Murali is a very, very strong female character in the book, and she has come out more stronger, more independent with each episode. Similarly, when you look at Shruti, uh, uh, she's a beautiful girl. She was molested, taken advantage of during her early age, but then how she got influenced and got affected by it, affected by everything that happened to her. You would see that happening, and then ultimately, her behavior, her persona changing, and then how she got married herself. That's a beautiful part of the book. And similarly, Jaya, who is given the God-given defect, uh, how emotionally she went through that journey. She kept playing the second fiddle pretty much part of the book, but she's supposed to emerge out as one of the strongest characters by the end. I hope I could write the second part of this book. So Jaya will have a lot of space for that for sure. So that's the character building process for me. It's evolution, I would say, as you write the book, as you cover the journey.
True. So, my last question to you is like, are you working on anything at the moment?
Good question. Oh yeah, absolutely. Uh, yeah, I think for now, obviously, my focus is on getting this book to as many platforms, to as many people as possible. But yeah, there is a story that I'm already working on, and the life on the edge focused on family drama, emotions, life of Mumbai as such. Now, in the next story, it's about the personal and professional life, uh, the career ambitions and its hazards, and love. That's a center theme, I would say, of the story,
Okay.
and the complications. So yeah, I again plan to bring a lot of characters, their emotional engagements with each other. Yeah, so you would see, yeah, emotional, yeah, again overflow in this book too. So yeah, that's my next book.
That's lovely. And I love how all these stories are centered around Mumbai. Of course, you being a Mumbaiker and all.
Correct.
So any
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Mumbai. Yeah, I must say, I'm a diehard city fan of Mumbai. I've lived there. I have moved around the world, been to several cities in US, several cities in Europe and UK. And yeah, no, none can beat Mumbai as such. So for sure, Mumbai ranks number one there, at
It's
least in my
lovely.
heart.
True.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Sandesh, for being here with us, for taking time out of your day and doing this. It was lovely to talk to you finally. And
absolutely.
congratulations once again for the literary awards.
Thank you so much, Akiyama. Nice meeting you. Thank you for
Thank you.
your time too. So yeah,
So that's it. We are signing out, guys. And Sandesh's book link will be down in the caption so that you can check it out. You can check
yeah,
out our website, and yep, that he's displaying it for y'all. So you'll
yeah,
know, y'all can order it from our website directly. And that's it. We're signing out. Bye.
yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.
Mm.